and welcome to this week's video. This week I'll be continuing on my print series of the tarot designs for the characters that exist in my Plant Witch, Mushroom Hunters, Poison Witch and Dragon Keeper universe. If you're new to this channel and you have never heard of this series before, this is a series that I'm currently working on which the universes overlap for all these characters. We have the Plant Witch with her familiar Prickles, we have the Poison Witch Lavender with her familiar Magnus. We've also got the Mushroom Hunters Freya, Cap and Gus, and this is Willow and Ember. Now this started off as a series of drawings that I did originally for Huevember. Huevember's a challenge month where you take a colour from a colour wheel and then you use that predominantly in that sort of like design. So essentially what I wanted to do was create like a series of characters that I could have within that, and so henceforth was born Ember and Willow. Now they live at the top of the mountains of this universe that I've built, and if you want more information on this universe, there are several videos that I've done. I'll leave a link down below as well as in the information card if you want to go and check that out. But I have done quite a lot in this series and there is quite a few illustrations I've done now. You can see here there's quite a few different style of illustrations, and the difference between the stories of Plant Witch, Poison Witch, Mushroom Hunters and Dragon Keeper is that they all have like very similar tales of finding out about yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. Now with Ember and Willow, Ember is actually a dragon that was born without wings, and because when he arrived his egg was cracked, and so Ember is looked after Willow and they help raise baby dragons. And I really wanted this story to be captured within this sort of aspect. Like, he originally was sad, but he is accepted for who he is, and he's a little bit stunted in his growth, but Ember has a lot of love to give, and really his relationship with Willow is just really sweet and I really do love it. He has a very parental instinct when it comes to the baby dragons and really helps raising them, and I think that's a really sweet relationship that him and Willow have. It's just something that I really do love their story, and I love all of my characters and all of their stories, but Ember and Willow's story really speaks to me the most. And this name for these characters was actually chosen by you guys quite a while ago, and I figured I haven't given these characters a lot of love. Now there are other characters that exist in the Plant Witch universe, but I really wanted to concentrate on 4 core characters and then build up from there. Since doing this, I've been focusing more on the lore aspect and the history of this universe before even diving into the story making. I find that story making can be quite difficult. It's kind of like I'm in the middle of building a D&D campaign at the moment, and I found that you want to concentrate on the lore and the history and come to understand the universe that you've built on before concentrating on the stories, because I'm essentially building up a world from scratch and you want to make sure that you have everything that you know. In particular, like for example, in this universe, magic can be learnt, but it is also a talent that a lot of people can have. So Plant Witch, obviously, Marie and Prickles. Marie has plant growing powers. Poison Witch, Lavender and Magnus. Lavender has this amazing ability to extract poisons and has this ability to grow poisonous plants, which is something that Marie struggles with. And though they're rivals, they have strengths and weaknesses that kind of contradict each other, so that they have a really good balance if they ever worked together. Mushroom Hunters Freya doesn't have magic, but she has a natural fantastic hunting skill, and her speciality is she's known as a gatherer, and she gathers materials, and that's what her whole story arc is. Originally she lived in a very populated city, and she didn't want that anymore. And the story of Ember and Willow is that Ember grew pity for dragons, which were commonly being slain for use of materials, for use of pretty much like, oh no, there's a big scary dragon. And she came to understand that there was more to them, so joined the dragon keepers at the top of the mountains, and they essentially rescue dragons and baby dragons. So if the mother has been like slain, or the family has been slain, they look after the dragons, rehabilitate them, and release them back into the wild. Of course, there are a few exceptions of ones that can't make it back out, so their whole like idea is like about preservation and rehabilitation to get the animals back out in this world. And I really want these stories to grow and connect, and I found that since creating these characters, I really have grown them, and I absolutely love them. There are lots of different characters, yes, that I've had people ask that are male characters. I've been working on their stories, making sure that I have their designs down right. I find it's very easy for me to create a female or a female appearing character, just because it's something that I can push a story to and I can relate to more, but I want to diversify my characters a lot more and add more to the story. I want to build this world, and that's essentially what I'm trying to do. But I think right now I have 4 very solid character designs, 4 very solid stories that I can build up on, and I want to concentrate on them first, and then I can expand the world. And the beauty of doing what I've been doing, which I'm really happy with, is because I spent so much time building up this world and building up the stories, and I've done maps, I've done all sorts now when I think about it on this channel. And because I've done so much work, and because I can like concentrate on their stories, I feel I have a solid base that this world could really grow, and that excites me. It's wonderful, and I'm really excited to get really stuck in and tell these characters' stories, and I know you guys have been very excited about it as well. So this piece, essentially, I wanted to have a lot of flow to it. So when you saw at the beginning, I was doing a lot of sketching, and the most important thing to me is I always want an illustration to look like it has a lot of flow. So you'll notice like she's slightly curved and Ember is slightly curved as well, and this is because it draws concentration to the middle of the illustration, and they're looking at each other, which makes you solidify that they're contact and solidify their sort of bond in that sort of illustration. With me, when it comes to illustration, I always want a picture to look like it is moving. I always want something to look like it is flowing, something is moving. And this genuinely can help an illustration come to life. It's not always successful. I haven't always done it successfully, but I always want, like, if I'm doing a full illustration, I want it to look like there is movement. I want it to look like there is something happening within there, simply because it helps an illustration be sold and helps an illustration for a person to connect to it. Not necessarily be sold, but it sells to the person what's happening in that illustration, if that makes any sense. For the full list of equipment, it's always listed down below. I'm using Canson mixed media paper, my pro markers here. I also use some polychromos or Prismacolors in here. I have them both mixed together because they both do a beautiful job of working on not only toned paper but building on top of your markers. And I use a little bit of white gel pen afterwards just to add a few highlights here and there, not go overboard. But with this one, I didn't want, well, the background, yeah, it's not overly complicated, but I wanted the concentration more to be on these characters. I really have fixated on something that I did in last November, which unfortunately I didn't finish, but I'd like to finish that sketchbook and do a sketchbook tour and show it off. I did this idea that they went to a flower dance and they had roses all around them, and I was really solidified in this sort of idea that they have roses. Like everyone in these tarot designs, they have a theme. Plant Witches is just covered in plants. Mushroom Hunters, it's covered in mushrooms. Poison Witch, she has like this very dark colour palette, and it's a mixture of mushrooms and poison. And with them, it's a very natural sort of aspect. It's very it's difficult to explain. I just wanted it to be very nature in a way, but not over the top. I wanted it to be a very simple background to the foreground, just because I didn't want to overshadow the foreground. It's something that you do learn, but I find that thumbnailing really helps, which is what you saw me do at the beginning of this video. Thumbnailing really helps solidify your idea, and sometimes it's really good not to go with the first idea. I always find that I try and do several thumbnails before settling on one, just because sometimes your first idea, yes, it may be great and you may end up going back to that, but it's always good to expand and look out on your ideas and think about a little bit outside the box of different posing and how you're going to pose the illustration to create that flow. Thumbnailing can really help that, and it can really help with your illustration to settle on your final idea. It is something I've done for quite a while, and it is something I do quite a bit actually, just because I think it really can help with an illustration. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I mean, if you guys want to see more of Ember and Willow and some of my other characters, let me know in the comment section down below. I know I did a really cute Animal Crossing Prickles design last week, which I'm still obsessed with. I absolutely love it. But I'm really happy with this tarot design. I think it really helps solidify the characters. It really helps solidify their relationship. And overall, I just love the colour palette. It's very earthy and very warm. Which contradicts them, because Ember has a very cool colour palette, which I really do love. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment down below what kind of dragon keeper would you be, what kind of dragon would you have, and let me know obviously if you'd like to see more of this content. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as always, stay creative.